everyone, I am back here to go over my third book, if you will, book planner that I use for kind of my, just managing my life, if you will. So I actually just started using this one a couple days ago, a week ago. So this is from Christina Loves Planning, and this is her all-in-one budget planner. I found out about this maybe like a month or two ago just from watching videos on YouTube and was really interested in it. So I got the 2026 version, which I have kind of sit off to the side, obviously waiting for January. But I also got the 2025 version because it was on super sale since there was only a couple of months left in the year. But I wanted to be able to test things out and get things like ready to go before January, just because I'm like one of those people that doesn't, like, I get nervous about writing in my brand new planner. I want to make sure that I have kind of a good structure going in. So that's why I got this one. I also figured that I can use a lot of the pages in here and just like that, because a lot of these aren't like dated necessarily. I can just like put a sticker or something over these. So I can still use these pages for things, and I just can redate them. So anyway, this is the budget planner. It's very thick, as you can see, which I personally love. I love a thick notebook. I am not one of those people who's going to make like a little tiny, happy planner that only has 12 sheets in it for the next couple weeks. Like, that's just not sufficient to me. I need there to be a lot of paper, like feel it in my hands. So anyway, this is the budget planner, and I am new to this, so still trying to get a good feel for it, but we'll just go over what I have for November. And as a quick note, I did cover up some of the information just because I don't want to share all the nitty-gritty details about my budget, but you'll still get the general idea. And one of the reasons that I wanted to start this YouTube channel to bring you guys along with me on my budgeting journey. I will do a separate video with kind of the whole background and impetus for this and more information about me, so more to come. But in a nutshell, I'm really going to be focusing on budgeting in the next future part of my life, and so I wanted to have a budget specific planner. So for November, just a quick note here, I took these notes here the other day, and I just thought it's something I would keep here as like a running list. So non-negotiables, and this is in relation to budgeting. There's certain things that I'm not willing to give up, at least not yet. And so fire on cold days, I have a gas fireplace, and obviously you have to pay every time you use it. And that's just something I'm not willing to give up. I love my fireplace. It brings me a great amount of joy, and so I will pay for it however much gas costs. And then my daily coffee, I am a big coffee person. I do make it at home with just like a cheapo drip coffee machine, so it's nothing particularly expensive, but it's just something that I'm not willing to give up. So I'm sure there's a lot more here. I just haven't thought of them yet. And then sources of income. This is just like ideas if I feel like I'm getting that itch to go buy something, or I feel like I need extra money for some reason. I wanted to come up with a couple of ideas of things that I can do if I needed to. So like, I have a Poshmark account. Sometimes I have a couple things on there. I can sell books. I have a ton of books. So I feel like if I'm never going to read them again, might as well resell them for somebody else to use. And then this is for Furnished Finder, which maybe I'll do a whole video on that because I am still kind of investigating it, but it's basically like a rental space opportunity. So anyway, this is just my like list I thought I would start to get me through my budgeting journey. So this is the monthly overview. I don't really have much on here because, again, I have my separate planner, which you saw in a different video, but I just put a couple of things on here, a couple of birthdays and Thanksgiving, just to get into the habit of utilizing this page. So the weekly plans, this is the vertical layout, which I really like. Unfortunately, the planner that I got for 2026 is horizontal because I wanted the gold coil, and I've never used horizontal, but I'll make it work. So anyway, I'm not using these pages in this planner because I have my other planner from Happy Planner that I'm currently using. So we'll move on along to task list. I just put some stuff on here basically related to my YouTube budgeting videos that I just started kind of brainstorming on. So I thought this would be a good place to track that since it is related to budgeting. And again, as I mentioned before, I have already a full thorough task list in my phone, so I don't really need it to also be here. Okay, so moving on, this is the bill tracker. So this is something I've been doing for the last probably 20 years in Excel, and I've just recently moved over to paper. So just kind of more fun to do it that way. So I just listed out all of my recurring bills. So fixed bills, and then also some variable bills like my utilities and things like that. So anything other than like food and shopping and stuff like that is listed here. And then I did color code it based on just different categories, so I can kind of see like what category each bill goes into. And then I did look up the date or approximate date that each of these will come through. It doesn't really matter because I don't do my budgeting, and I won't do my budgeting on a paycheck to paycheck basis. That's just that wouldn't work for me. So I just have my paychecks come into my bank account and it's there, and the bills go out when they need to, either based on automatic payments or I'll set them up, but it's not, I don't really need to know the due dates per se, because again, it's all on my phone, but they're here nevertheless. And then I took the dates and the color coding and put that onto this monthly overview, which is just kind of a fun view. Again, I don't need to know this necessarily, but like on paper, but it's still just kind of a fun little thing. What I think might be interesting to add here in 2026 would be the one-off things. So like my AAA, what's that called? Like auto, and not insurance, but like where they can come get you if you like stall or something like that. AAA service, like those one-off annual bills that I wouldn't have here. Maybe I'll start tracking those here as well. Okay, so next up is the expense tracker. There's a couple of pages for this. And again, this is what I had been tracking via Excel until this week. And now I'm just gonna be tracking in here instead. I did highlight things that go to my business, their business expenses that I don't have a business Amazon. So Amazon, I have to kind of like move over to my business. So I just highlighted those. And then I always, just as a little tip, I always write what the Amazon item was that I bought so that I have that for reference, because I buy a lot on Amazon, so I forget for one thing, and I just want to make sure I'm not getting double billed for anything, but also it's just easier to categorize that way. So like I would have never known that this Amazon purchase was eye drops by just looking at the amount. So that way I was able to see, okay, this is the toiletries, it goes out of my toiletries budget. So obviously I'll just have an ongoing list of expenses here. And then I just added a little package tracker down here because I had extra space. I doubt I'll use this entire thing in November. So I just thought if I buy any more things, I'll just put them here so I can check them off when I receive them. And then this is my sinking funds tracker. So I haven't really started doing sinking funds because I'm at the end of the year. It doesn't really make sense. Like I'm not going to have time to save up money for the holidays when I need to start shopping for the holidays like tomorrow. So I just kind of put this here as like an example of how I might do it starting in 2026. And then I did put a couple of like really small goals for savings and some like gifts here, just like things I can feasibly do by the end of the year. But again, none of these are really being tracked all that closely. It's just, again, kind of practicing for 2026. I don't know if I'll have this many sinking funds. I kind of bucket things as much as I can. Like gifts and travel will encompass a lot of stuff, but we'll see how I feel in January. Okay, so credit card payment, credit card tracker. So I really only have one credit card that has stuff on it. I have another credit card that has like, I think it pays for my Netflix every month, and it just kind of sits there and I pay it and it's no worries, like there's nothing to be done with it. This is my main credit card that I use for almost all of my stuff. So I'll just track, I guess, my payments here. I've never really done a credit card tracker before, so I'm not entirely sure how to use this, but I'll figure it out as I go. And then for the debt tracker, so again, I covered this up just so you don't see all of the details about my life, but I have two large debts, if you will, so my home mortgage and my car lease. I just got my car in May of this year, and I'd had my car before that for more than 10 years, and I loved my car so much. It was like everything I ever wanted. However, it does not drive in winter conditions, and I live in a place that gets snow quite often, and so it just wasn't practical for me to have anymore, especially because starting in January, I have to go into the office 3 days a week, and that simply would not have worked with my old car. So I had to upgrade to a car that has four-wheel drive capability, and therefore I now have a car payment. And I am doing a lease because I wanted to make sure I like having an SUV before I commit to it. My house I bought in July of 2022, I believe it was. And so I'm fresh and early into my mortgage journey. And, you know, it is what it is. So I will track that here. Again, I don't entirely know exactly how this will be used because, like, I don't know why there's so many lines in the month when I only make one payment a month. I guess the thought is that you would like make multiple payments, but I'm not going to be able to do that. So anywho, we'll see how this page works for me. Afterpay tracker, I don't have Afterpay. I don't really know what that is. I've never done any of those kinds of things. So that will stay like that. And then subscriptions, I just carried over the same things that I had here, if I can find it. So all the subscriptions would have already been here, but I listed them here as well because I think it is interesting to see the total for these recurring subscriptions where most of them I could qualify as a want and not a need. And so this is where there is some room for opportunity for me. So if I really wanted to trim down to like bare minimum expenses, I can look at this and decide what goes and what stays. So for example, I think I might cancel my Pretty Litter subscription. It comes every quarter, so you get 3 bags a quarter, and I have like a surplus of them right now, so I feel like I can just cancel that and just buy them one-off at Target. But I do want to look at the pricing first to make sure that I'm not getting some like great deal for my subscription. So anyway, that is subscriptions. And then again, Paycheck Tracker I do not use. These are pages that I don't know. I might see if there's a way I can use this for something else, like use the goals or figure out another way to use these so they're not just like wasted space, but I don't do paycheck to paycheck stuff. And that's it. So that is my budget all-in-one planner. I'm really excited to get into this. I think Christina Loves Planning has a lot of really cute and like neutral things that she offers, products. And I find her content to be like really cozy as well and enjoyable to watch. So definitely check that out if you are interested in planning content. And yeah, so that is book number 3, my all-in-one budget planner. That is everything I have for my main kind of lifestyle books, if you will, book/planners. And I will start dipping into more details of my planning journey, my budgeting journey as we go. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.